Hard to believe it's been 20 years since this happened.
Down the block, Andrew John. Inside for Albert. Albert will score. Albert will score. Newcastle have won the grand final.
Wow.
Newcastle have won Rugby League's crown. No doubt they're dancing in the streets of Newcastle right now.
How good.
You'll be dancing in the streets again in Newcastle this weekend, celebrating it.
20 years this week, Am. We go back to Newcastle, and we've got to. We all get together. Everyone's turning up. We're all going to be there. We go to the. There's a place called the Newcastle Club right on top of the town there. The oldest establishment in Newcastle. Mark Twain stayed there. That's how old it is.
Right?
And we're all gathering there. We're having a special lunch. Then the next day, they play the Sharks in the last game of the year. So we're all going there, get presented to the crowd.
So all this
Takes me
week,
back, man.
all this week, you're going to go give us a little bit of insight, because even though the grand final was very dramatic, there was some other things that occurred through the week that kind of
Set you up.
hasn't been known as public knowledge yet.
Yeah, I spoke to Brett Kubel, who's a guy who covered it really close during that time. Coobs was an old journo up there at Newcastle. He's doing a story for the Newcastle Herald coming up this Friday, apparently, just regarding all the stories leading in. And all good sporting stories, you know, MG, that they're cross-referenced with something that was going on at the time. And I think what made the 97 grand final really special for the town and for the city was the fact that emotions in the town were really raw. Few things had happened. From a footballing point of view, there was the Super League war. The Hunter Mariners were forced upon the town, which really conjured up a lot of emotions there. Rio Tinto, all the Rio Tinto mines were on strike. So there was people were really doing it tough in the town, and on top of that, they just shut the gates on BHP. So emotions in the whole town were really, really raw. And I was asked the other day about something that, you know, a story that hadn't been told, and I was thinking about what it was. And about a month out from the finals, about 8 of us, the senior players, and the coach Malcolm Reilly, and a couple of the board members, we met at the Exchange Hotel, and we sat there for a meal. And I remember Chief was always really big on, why are we doing this? What is our motivation? You know, who are we doing this for if we're going to go on to win a grand final? And I remember us talking about what was going on at the town at the time, and we said, mate, we're doing it for the town. We're doing it for the people. That's what we're doing. And I remember one of the board members scoffed and sort of giggled, laughed and rolled his eyes and said, don't worry about the town. Just do it for yourselves. And we sort of went away. And for us, though, that was bullshit, because to do it for yourself is not enough. So from that, and it really was, we said, no, he's wrong.
Yeah.
We're doing it for the town. And it was like, you know, and playing for the Knights that year felt like a noble cause, you know. And we went on grand final day, over 100 buses went down to the game.
City Fogs.
Sid Fogs. Sid Fogs.
And, you know, we'll talk the story going in, but that really lit the fuse. That lit the fuse for us to make that run into the finals. And I always remember the night before the game. Again, Chief come to us. We had a meeting earlier in the day, and had a meeting. We said, you know, it was okay. The meeting was okay night before the grand final. And then Chief went up and said, mate, it just wasn't good enough. He said, mate, let's have another one. But it was at 8 o'clock that night. I said, Chief, let's just knock off, get to bed. Some blokes want to go to the movies. He said, no. He said, let's do it. So we went into a room, all jammed into a room, went around the circle. And said, what would it mean to you to win this grand final? And I remember the last person I got to was a fella called Mark Glanville. And Mark Glanville was one of the first guys ever to sign for the Knights 10 years earlier. He'd had knee reconstructions. He'd gone through hell.
Scored the first try, didn't he, at Paris Stadium?
He did. First ever try for the Knights, MG. Good memory, mate.
Wow.
That head's okay.
Yeah.
Every now and again.
HIA.
And he went back and he said, and Mark Glanville, who coincidentally we called MG, MG was a bloke who, he used to say all the times, mate, if I wasn't being paid, I wouldn't play. I do it for the money.
Yep.
You know? And he used to say unashamedly, but he was a great pro. He was a great professional. I remember it was Mark Lamble's turn. And Chief went to him poignantly last. And there was silence. We all sort of turned around to wait, and he was crying.
Oh, wow.
For a bloke that was such a cold fish. And Joey just jumped straight up in the bed and said, don't worry about it. He said, we've won it.
Wow.
I know we've won.
Wow.
So, yeah.
You can see it. You can picture it in your
Yeah.
mind, can't you?
When you when you heard that commentary of that last try, and you got to be literally under a rock if you can't remember that moment if you were born. When that happened, Matty, can you still remember it? When you hear the commentary, does it take you back there?
Gus,
where does it take you?
It takes me back because when you're in MG will know what I'm talking about here. When you're right into a contest, right, the scoreboard the time on the clock and everything dissolves away. There's nothing. You are literally just, people say, oh, you're in the moment. You're in the moment. You're not thinking about anything. When Joey went up the short side, right, and what we'd always said, me and Joey used to sit and watch videos ad nauseum on games, and one thing we always noticed about Hopper, when Hopper went to marker and the sideline, he'd always chase infield, which if you're a wing, you're not supposed to do, because he was always looking to put pressure on the kicker. So we used to always say, if Hopper's ever at marker, just dummy and go up the short side and he'll go. So in that last play, I'm standing in the middle of the field. And earlier on, I went for a field goal, hit the post, and I'm calling the ball in the middle of the field. And I look straight in front of me, and Beaver's staring at me. And I know it's going to be, Joey's going to throw a ball 20 metres, and it's going to be a rush for me to catch, snap, and try to take it. And I remember Joey looking up and dummying because Hopper was a marker. Went up the short side and got the ball inside Darren Albert. And as he crossed the finishing line, I swear to God,
Finishing line.
and it was a finishing line.
It was a finish line.
As he crossed the try line, I looked immediately up at the clock because that was the first time we've been in front in the game. I looked up at the clock to see how long to go, and it went 3, 2, 1.
No way.
Wow.
So
And it's all over.
It's done, and the siren went. And what happened next? I've seen photos like there's Brett Kubel sent me through a photo of me giving my wife a pash.
I think it's the other way
At the
around. I
state-
think she's giving you a pass.
Very embracing.
She does.
Very.
She does like a winner.
God, she's a lucky woman, Trish. Isn't
She
she?
is, mate.
Would
She's
she have
so
been
lucky.
passing
Is that Latin?
Cliffy lines if
It
the
might have
result
been-
had gone the other way?
Look, yeah, if it went the other way, it might have been tubes. Spud. Anyway, but what happened next? The next hour, I have no idea.
No.
I've seen photos of the lap of honour and everything. It was mass
Yeah,
hysteria.
you had your brother and your father. I do remember
Yeah.
that shot. Have you got that shot somewhere of your brother and your dad?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
You should have
I
that
know, it's all
shot.
that disappeared. When he rang me the other day, I said to Trish, where is the grand final ring? She said, we've got it around here somewhere.
You got to wear the ring on the weekend if you can find it.
Yeah, I don't know where it in tomorrow.
So every
Please do, Duff.
every
Please
player
do.
from 97 is going to be there on Saturday?
We're all going to be there.
Oh, that's great.
Have you
Yeah.
done a similar thing, MG, when you won the comp? Have you had
we
these type of things with Penrith?
We had a 20-year reunion, yeah.
Yeah.
It's great seeing the blokes who you create history with.
Yeah.
Newcastle's first, it was our first.
Brilliant.
And you'll never be forgotten for that.
Oh,
That's great stories, boys.
Enjoy the
Amazing.
weekend, Cobber.
Yeah.
Couple
It'll
of
be very
beers.
much like the lap of honour. I won't remember a thing.
The Grill Team, Gus, MG, and Matty Johns.